We have spent the last 30 days walking through ancient Bethlehem, tracing the steps of a Moabite widow. But this story was never meant to be left in the past. This final chapter is where the work of the last 30 days meets your real life starting tomorrow morning. When you review everything Ruth survived, the profound grief, poverty, the absolute uncertainty of her future, you have to ask, what was the single underlying habit that kept her moving forward? Her environment was chaotic and unforgiving. The peace she carried, that genuine radiance, came entirely from a highly intentional internal posture. Let's track how she actually achieved this. It started in Moab when she chose to walk away from everything familiar, leaving her cultural safety net for a God she barely knew. She physically turned her back on her homeland, stepping onto a dusty road with zero guarantees about where she would sleep or how she would eat. Then she arrived in Bethlehem and immediately accepted the most vulnerable social role available, a gleaner, picking up leftovers in the dirt of a stranger's field. She worked in the blistering heat from morning until evening. She refused to let the indignity of her status break her focus or slow her hands. And then came the threshing floor. She placed herself at the feet of Boaz in the dead of night, taking a massive personal and reputational risk. She laid there in total darkness, completely unable to control how he would respond, relying entirely on quiet obedience to see her through. In every single one of these environments, the grief, the exhaustion, the terrifying vulnerability, her survival and her eventual elevation depended strictly on where she deliberately directed her attention. We find the mechanics of that focus outlined here in Psalm 34, verse 5. It reads, "They looked unto him and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed." Notice that first phrase, "they looked unto him." This is a definitive action. It is a deliberate choice to fix your eyes on God, rather than passively sitting back and waiting to be rescued. Ruth lived this. When the famine hit, when the labor was grueling, when the night was dark, she kept her gaze locked on the horizon where God stood. The result is found in the second half of the verse. They were lightened, meaning their faces became radiant, and they were kept entirely free from shame. This promise is the bridge. It's how a widow in a foreign field moves from being defined by her loss to being defined by the light she carries. Let's bring this directly into your current reality. You might be standing in a season that feels incredibly dark, facing deep uncertainty, or praying prayers that seem to hit a ceiling. To apply Ruth's strategy, you must actively refuse the distractions around you. You cannot allow your focus to be hijacked by past trauma, unfair circumstances, or the material things you currently lack. When the immediate environment around you is completely bleak, you look exclusively to him. When the future is entirely unmapped and you do not know the next step, you hold that same steady gaze. And when the answers to your most desperate prayers are severely delayed, you refuse to look away. This daily, intentional shift, pulling your attention away from the chaos and fixing it firmly on God, is the exact discipline these last 30 days were built to train. Now it is time for you to step into your own fields. Take the lessons you have gathered here and apply them, one surrendered step at a time. Whatever difficult chapter you are reading in your own life right now, know that it is not the end of the book. The author is still actively writing your redemption, because you carry the exact same identity that she did. You are seen. You are loved, chosen, and radiant. You'll find that radiance isn't a destination. It's the light that reflects off your face the moment you look toward the author of the story.